A second-half avalanche buries the Tigers in College Station as LSU falls to A&M 38-23. We're breaking it down on the Hannacast.
The Hannacast, a weekly LSU football film study with Charles Hannagriff and former LSU tight end Richard Dickson. Now to break down the Tiger tape, here's Charles and Richard.
All right, everybody, thank you for joining us for this week's breakdown of LSU football as the Tigers lose in College Station. Richard, the 17-7 halftime lead evaporated, and we can look at three big reasons that it did. You can rank them in any order you want. People have been doing that for the last couple of days. Number one, three costly turnovers for LSU, three interceptions that set A&M up in LSU territory. Secondly, A&M was able to outrush LSU 10-1, 242-24. LSU not able to run the football very much at all, and when Marcel Reed came into the game, it completely changed the dynamic, and that's the third thing, which is Reed's ability to run the football. Not only were his numbers good, but it set up everything else for this A&M offense that was stagnant under Connor Wegman.
Yeah, I mean, it's the tale of two halves. I mean, going back and going through this film and watching the first half, I get all excited again about how things were rolling. We were able to run the ball early on. We were getting big stops, making the big plays. But what comes back to haunt us again we've seen previous weeks is relying on field goals in the red zone. And this time it didn't go in our favor. Last week we went 4 for 4 on field goals. This time we had 2 misses and a fumbled snap.
We're going to spare you the special teams stuff. Yeah. They just missed field goals. They didn't spin the laces, and they weren't ready for a snap, okay? All that's bad, all that's correctable, but there's not a whole lot we can – they didn't spin the laces, okay? And
yeah, we put a field goal on last week.
Right, yeah,
we got
right.
about as good as we can get out
that
of
was
that.
Probably bad karma. The momentum swung in this game with the first interception. It set A&M up on the 8-yard line. That's one of the plays we're going to be showing you this week. On a game like this where A&M, there was literally not an empty seat in the house, and that crowd was just dying to pounce. And for 36 minutes, LSU didn't give them any chance to do that. But with the turnover, the floodgates kind of opened.
It just came at the worst time. I mean, we start off that second half. Defense is still rolling. We get a 5-and-out. They punt, a 3-and-out. They punt. And then the very next play, we throw an interception, give them a short side of the field, and they get things rolling.
We're brought to you by Marucci Sports. From a backyard shed to the top of the game, Marucci, more than just a baseball bat company. It's a legacy built on passion and precision with 2 decades of crafting the finest wood, metal, and leather in the sports. We're here to help you run the game. Visit MarucciSports.com and the Hitter's House by Marucci at 5801 Segan Lane. Members' benefits include 24/7 access to the members-only cages, bullpen cage reservation opportunities, 15% discounts at the retail stores. Lots of great stuff at the Hitter's House. And the brand-new Hitter's House opened just this past Saturday in Metairie at 1801 Airline Drive. Again, the Hitter's House at MarucciSports.com. All right, let's jump right in here. Things started out really well. You're going to notice a very different thing, a very different change in Richard's attitude, in his mood, I should say, from the beginning of this to the end, because it gets worse as we go along. But it started out pretty good. Wegman was pressured intensely by LSU, and the first play we're going to show you is a sack by Greg Penn.
Yeah, it's just a really well-run play. We're going to run cover one man. Gio's going to slant. And it's going to really highlight the pressure and attention that Whit Weeks is gaining, because when Whit Weeks comes on this blitz, he brings 2 guys completely go with him, leaving the gap wide open for Greg Penn to make a sack.
All right, let's watch here as this was at the 39-yard line of LSU.
And you'll see it better from the other view, but what you're going to get is, Gio slants right here, which brings the guy, he has to step down. These 2 both, the guard and tackle, suck to Weeks. I mean, they know he's coming. They both give all their attention to him, and Greg Penn gets a free shot.
Watch it here. He is he's almost in that gap.
It's a look that we haven't ran that much, but it's pretty interesting the way that we run the wide end. We got Savion on the tight. It's almost like an old underfront with Burns playing the outside linebacker, which now a star position. But the big thing right here is when Gio Paez slants, Whit Weeks is coming, and these 2 guys are looking for Whit Weeks. They both flare out with him, and it gives Greg Penn, who's more on like a green dog, he's watching the back, he gets to come free.
All right. Let's watch it here again. Swinson forcing.
Swinson takes a tackle out wide. Witz eats up the guard and the running back on the pass block, which allows Greg Penn to come free with no other looks. Greg's guy was the running back, and you see him kind of fan out with him. Once he realizes he's blocking, he gets a home run shot.
All right, we're going to move forward here. The second play that we're going to show you is a run by Caden Durham. Now, there weren't a lot of good runs to pick from, but this was one of the best. In fact, I think we decided was the second best.
Longest by a running back. And to me, look, I tried to find some more running film, and the biggest thing I can realize is, our run game disappears once Dellinger gets hurt.
This is for 10 yards. There was another run for 13. LSU ended up with 24 net rushing yards when you take the sacks out. We haven't had to do very much of that because they haven't given many sack opportunities. Yeah. Only 4 in the season.
Let it run to where he's going to start on this right side. He's going to give him a look to where we talk about we're offset runs 90% of the time. We're going to move him.
Go ahead.
We're going to move him back over to the left side. So right here, 80% of our film is run to the right at this point because Garrett Nussmeier is not going to keep the ball. This is a read option where you'd be reading that way. But we've shown this so much that they're going to take it's almost like a counter without a puller. I mean, it's misdirection because he's going to start off this way. Campbell is going to seal off. You got Dellinger who works a two-way. He's going to help on the nose tackle and get up to the linebacker, and it's really well run.
All right. He takes a counter step back. You mentioned it's a counter without a pull. We got an email from a listener this week about how LSU's run game is not terribly sophisticated. A question about why they're not a little bit more sophisticated, why they don't pull a lot of linemen. What is your reasoning or your response to that?
I said we pull some, but I mean most of it is based out of the zone read looks, and it's we've talked about this 100 times that the zone read becomes ineffective once you're not going to pull the ball because guys start flying down. This was a new twist to it. We start off on the right side of the quarterback, which shows that okay, if we're going to run zone read, it's to the left. But we motion him back over. He switches sides.
All right, let's watch this again.
So he comes back over. So these guys are now thinking, okay, we start here. All the run attention is left. We move him back to the left side. So now they're going to come back. Okay, they're going back right. We're going to run the zone read. But we don't, instead of pulling, which we have pulled before in this, we don't pull. We work from nose tackle up to the linebacker, and it creates a seam right there in that, I guess, B gap. And Dellinger does a really good job. I've showed a lot early on with the center not being able to get to the next level. Frazier struggles at times getting to the next level. Dellinger did a great job helping out on the nose tackle and getting to that linebacker.
Probably not fair to compare the freshman Mubinga, who is a redshirt freshman, to a senior like Dellinger, who's I think started somewhere in the area of 30.
I think it's something
games.
that is bigger that happened in this game than anybody's talked about. I haven't heard about Dellinger's injury. No one's really talking about it, but when you go back and watch that first drive, we bust one for 13, we bust one for 10, one for 4, and that's all. And not the first drive, the second drive, because we punted on the first drive. But we had the run game going in that second drive, and then it just dissipated.
I like that you said busted 1 for 4. That was like the 4th biggest run of the
I'll
night.
take a 4-yard run all day.
We're brought to you by Dependable Storage with 8 locations across Louisiana and 1 in Gulfport, Mississippi. The newest facilities in the chain in Slidell and Youngsville. They'll match any competitor's pricing and offer convenient online rentals and payments. Free use of the moving truck for new rental move-ins and clean, secure, and conveniently located facilities. At Dependable Storage, we want your stuff. Check out the website at dependablestorage.com for locations, pricing, and rentals. Okay, the next play we're going to look at is a forced fumble, and this was caused by Sage Ryan.
And I just want to start off with taking a look at the front. It's something new we've done. We put a Sage Swinson at end, and you got Savion playing on the same side, both almost playing like a defensive tackle wide. We got Shan in here playing the nose guard of the shade, and we're bringing Xavier Atkins off the edge. We're bringing him in a lot of like speed rushing packages.
I noticed him in the game. I didn't notice that Jones and Swinson were on the same side. So let's watch this play. This is from the 25-yard line of Texas A&M. And
so Whit Weeks does a real good job looping back around to keep contained. And Sage Ryan, I mean, we're not going to get a good view of this. The TV film's actually better. The way he gets his hand in there, he grabs the nose of the football and rips it. But I think it's just a very interesting rush package that we're getting very creative with what Blake Baker's doing with the guys, putting our two ends on the same left side to get a heavier rush here. You're going to get a looper with Whit Weeks getting around to contain it. And then guys flying to the ball. I mean, we've done that really well lately of just our safety play, Sage Ryan coming in, guys moving quicker and really attacking the football.
What kind of coverage you playing behind this?
Let it go real quick.
Because it seems
You're
like
showing cover too, but it's almost like you're getting to quarters. Everybody's dropping into quarters. Everybody's getting deep, making the play, and it's a 3rd and long. They're going to play behind it, make everything come up fast, and that's why you're going to hit the running back on that.
All right. So we move forward here after Ryan forces the fumble. The next one, this is a zone read that LSU runs that is not much of a zone read, and this results in a loss. And you're going to show, if you're wondering why the LSU zone read package doesn't go, this is a great example of why.
And to me, it shows confusion all the way through. And
let's set the formation.
You're going to have it's almost like Green was playing back at a tight end role. He was playing the wing side right there. You got CJ down here. Mason Taylor is going to motion back across, but you'll really get an idea of what's going to happen once Mason moves. This guy slides down. They're bringing 8 off the edge. 8's got to be the pitch man. Determining who that pitch man is, there's confusion on this side because both of them attempt to block it. My guess is once they slide down, Mason goes across. 8's becoming a blitzer. He's coming off the edge. You make him the pitch guy, and what CJ should do is get up here on the corner, and if Nussmeier were to pull it, there's a lane. There's a gap to go, but these guys come crashing down, and they don't give it any hope.
Let's take a look.
Don't you hate to see it?
Yeah, that's live and in color. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna.
Everybody's crashing.
This guy's so far inside of Daniels right here. I mean, I understand that Nussmeier would have to make a move on 26, but even if he just.
But where I'm saying the confusion is, that's the pitch guy. Daniels does not touch that guy. You step down and you come straight here. And this is where I think that, they're actually trying to block it because they don't ever think that he's going to pull it. They're trying to start to seal off the back. Yeah. I mean, if you watch it green, and you're going to see a better view right here, is that it's impossible. I mean, he's a very fast guy.
Okay. What is Nussmeier looking at here?
Well, Nussmeier right here, you'll get the real look if you go a little bit further once they get the man in motion and guys get set. Right when Mason Taylor starts coming across.
All right, let me try this again.
Right here. So everybody creeps back down right here. At this point, everybody's working this way. You're either going to pitch off the end or you're going to pitch off a blitzer. At this point, it looks like Green is going to try to cut this guy off, which is a very tough cutoff, ends up making a play. But if I'm CJ's got to let that guy you leave somebody open on zone read. You're not trying to block it. You got one guy, the read guy. And I'm very confused who the read guy is right here because, Green's trying to block the end, which he's slanting. At the end slanting, it tells me somebody else is coming off the edge. So in a typical package, when you got these reads, once they run a blitz, the pitch man goes further out. You're going to have this guy coming off the outside, and he's really going to start to read him, which means CJ's got to get up either on that cornerback or work to the linebacker. But one of the guys is going to be free. But at this point, everybody crashes. CJ tries to block the pitch man. Green can't get to the end. So it's just nothing there.
None of that worked. Can I look here?
So this
guy's on the ground, okay?
And at this point, okay, I'm good. If CJ wants to go block this guy, I'm not, because you got the flow here. You want him coming here. CJ needs to arc release and get to that safety, and then you're going to put him on it's not going to be a big play, but it's a 5 plus.
If it's 5+, that's fine. What it's going to do is keep the entire front
from everybody from crashing.
I realize everybody's reach blocking here.
Look at this guy.
Everybody, they all know. They know Nussmeier's not coming back the other way.
They're not respecting. I mean, when you see him just go a click forward once he could have pulled it right there. CJ
he's already given it away, but
but that's right when he would have pulled it.
Yeah.
At that point, CJ can get on that guy, and you got an alley right there. I mean, that's what the play's designed for.
This guy's not going to be able to turn around.
No, he can't get there. And this is where I get frustrated is quit running the dang play if you're not going to pull it because nobody respects it. everybody's selling out. They don't care about Nussmeier anymore. They're getting too much momentum going this way where everybody's crashing. Until he pulls that a few times, this play will not work.
The offensive line is getting all of the criticism for this.
And
but
they're in a bad spot.
Yeah, this is a tough ask.
Yeah, like you can sit here and complain about blocks. Look, you get a Campbell on his, Dellinger on his. You look, Green, that's a tough ask to get him to get inside and block that in because that's typically, the pitch guy. Once he moved inside, it wasn't. But the flow is so heavy. The linebacker, everybody's crashing. Until he pulls that a few times, there's nowhere. Those guys are at a disadvantage in trying to get the block.
I want to look one more time here because on the right side,
Campbell gets beat pretty bad too.
Well,
not Campbell. I mean
Jones.
Emery,
That's what I wanted to see because he's standing there, and I was wondering where this cat came from, and he came from right over Jones.
Yeah, and that's where I want to. When I go to the wide view,
all right,
I get to see a little bit more because you got what Mason's coming across for is a kick out block, and I don't know if he gets there so fast that he has to block him or he should have been working up. But I mean, essentially, it's a wasted blocker because he gets beat so bad. Taylor never gets to work up to the next level.
All right, that's one of the reasons if you're wondering about the run game. That's one of the things they're trying to run this, and it's
you can't cut half the field off with never going back that direction. At some point, everybody's going to play the right side of the field.
That point.
Yeah.
Right there. With 25 years of experience, Lake Urgent Care is dedicated to providing quality care close to home. They treat minor illnesses and injuries for ages 3 months and up at 17 convenient locations, including Baton Rouge, Hammond, Livingston Parish, and Ascension Parish. Plus, they offer occupational health and weight loss solutions. As a seamless extension of Our Lady of the Lake, patients can access care from anywhere with the MyChart patient portal. Our urgent care centers are open 7 days a week. Simply walk in, check in online, or you can schedule a virtual care visit at lakeurgentcare.com. Okay, the next play was a very good one. This is Aaron Anderson, who is having a phenomenal season. He gets better, it seems like to me, every week, and this is the 76-yard touchdown.
He's our big play guy right now. He's making the big catches. He's getting open. And this is a great throw by Nussmeier. It's a tough catch and run. I mean, this is just well-coached, great decision, great throw. It's a little bit behind, but this is finding a hole in cover 3. He splits the two defenders perfectly to where he could have gotten blown up, but with his balance, he stays on his feet and breaks it for a touchdown.
Let's watch it from the side view.
Well, you're going to get everybody corner bailing. You got the safety that tries to make the big play on it. He's late. He gets behind him. And when you find that hole in that cover 3, once he commits to come down, the two other guys are so far apart that guys with his speed can take it home.
Let's watch it. We're going to set up we'll set it up from the wide view for the coverage that you're going to get.
Run that back real quick. That window is so tight, and I want to say, like, we can bash on Nussmeier had a rough game. That's a hell of a read, hell of a throw to get it in that window.
Some of the old timers with me will remember a play that LSU ran against Texas A&M in 1986 that looked it was to a running back. It was to Sammy Martin, and it was probably the only time in the game that A&M split their safeties in 86, and Martin took it 80 yards to the house. I think it was Mickey Guidry that found him in man coverage, and Sammy Martin was real fast. And he would watching Aaron Anderson go. There are people that were at that game. I was at that game that are saying, I remember that play. It's a very memorable play in LSU history, and it looked a lot like that because when Sammy got in the middle of the field, nobody was going to catch him, just like Aaron Anderson here.
This is one of those plays that you talk about. It's either you're going to take a big hit, or you're going to split the defenders and take it to the house.
All right, you said cover 3 here, so set this up.
You're going to get the cornerback bailing, the slot guy playing the flat. This guy plays flat. The safety bails right here, and this safety bails to the middle of the field. And he doesn't get deep enough because he's playing that whole defender. So you're going to get the inside slant. He's going to get in between, and then he's going to come crashing down. He's a little bit late. They make a good throw, good catch, and he splits him.
Admit it, you're going to go home and look at this play from 37 years ago that I'm telling you about, right? Yeah, so
at this point.
Let's watch the throw again.
It's a great throw, great timing, great position, and knowing where your defenders are coming from. You got the linebacker flying out. Safety can't get there quick enough, and he splits them.
So in the interest of balance here, we show you the great play. We're going to show you the bad play. I thought this, Rich, was where the momentum really swung. This is in the second half. This is 2 series in. This is a 3rd down and 2 play from LSU's 31-yard line, and this is the interception that started A&M on the comeback.
No, this isn't the interception. It's incompletion.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. I got them out of order. This is the incompletion to Chris Hilton.
Yeah, and this is one that, I don't know. I know what Nussmeier's trying to do. He's going for the kill shot at this point. It's up 17-7. Hilton's our speed guy. He's the guy that gets to look. He gets even with this guy. We talked about last week. When you get even, he's leaving. Nussmeier takes the home run shot. He throws it behind him. I'm not putting it all on him. Chris Hilton could have made the play, but this is one of 2 plays where you could see that Hilton's rusty. He hadn't played all year long. The timing is off. He really jumped for 2 balls way too early in this game. That could have been, big plays for the offense.
Let's watch it here.
I mean, he's got him. He's got him. But the underthrow, the mistimed jump, it was ugly. And when I go back and look at it, and it's in short yardage situation, and you'll see a lot better view from the wide view. He's got so many options on this one. I'm taking the easier options. I'm taking Mason Taylor across. You got Anderson on the whip route with nobody covering him. You got Durham out the backfield wide open.
All right, let's watch it here. Set up the coverage for us.
It's man
coverage.
Straight
man, yeah.
It's straight man on this one, and everybody wins. And this is one that it's frustrating because I forget what the down and distance was, but there's easier options on this to keep things. I want to say it was a 1st and 10. Keep the momentum going.
Hang on, I can tell you. All right. It is a first down and 10.
So this is one of the times I'm just I get what he's doing. Take the shot. Let's go for the kill. Go up 24-10. You got the look.
Tell me when you want me to stop this. What his other options?
Now, you got Mason Taylor breaking the dig route. He still got the ball in his hand. He could pump it in right there for 15 yards. This has been a home run ball for us right here with Aaron Anderson on the whip route. He got him sold in. He's breaking out. This guy's got his back turned to him. If I'm Garrett Nussmeier, I'm hitting that throw right there, and it's going for 30, 40 yards.
It looks like the guy covering Anderson is leaning back to the inside.
Because he ran the whip route. He drug it across the middle, put his foot in, and planted back out. So he got this guy fooled. He's wide open for days. Durham's going to be wide open. Mason Taylor's wide open across the middle. And those are the easy options. I'm going Aaron Anderson. I'm almost positive Aaron's probably his first look right here. But that's open too. I mean, Chris Hilton's got the guy even, nobody over the top. That's your speed guy. This is where you're going to show everybody this is what we're waiting on. It's just a bad throw and a bad effort. I don't want to say bad effort, a bad execution. Bad timing of the wide receiver. I mean, that's a home run. But it's just, ball's a little bit underthrown. He missed at times his jump. Look, run that back real quick. You think watch Aaron Anderson at the very end. You thought he was going to get the ball? You can tell his body language.
Yeah.
His body language just dumps his head to the ground.
Yeah, he would have had a lot of room to. Yeah, he bends over at the last minute. It's like, man, we missed that one.
It's one of those that, like, it's tough because everybody's open, and I get what he's trying to do is take the home run shot. That's what you've been looking for. That's what Chris Hilton is in the game to do, but it doesn't work out when you could have had other big plays on that.
Okay, did I skip forward too much here? Because I don't think we got the interception, the Nussmeier interception. It looked like it skipped straight forward to the first down after the interception on the 8-yard line. But let's talk about the interception. That didn't. We have a certain amount of plays that are available to us, and we use them. We thought we had this one, but 3rd down and 2. This is early in the second half, and Nussmeier kind of floats one that is picked up.
Like, it's one of those, he's got to kill it. And I really thought I had that play on him. But you got Zion Thomas coming back. He had a go route. He's trailing back. You got the running back out the back. I don't know, was it Anderson or the running back? I can't remember. You had a leaker, and he's rolling out to the left. I'm either throwing it outside, dumping it, or I'm trying to hit Thomas coming back. He tries to put it over the head because you can see what he's trying to do, but he doesn't get the ball far enough. And then it just sets the ball up to where he gets a return to the 8-yard line.
This is one of those things that I understand he's trying to make a play. But you got the lead, you got the ball, you got the momentum.
You got to make a smarter play than that.
This is one of those drives that needs to end in a kick. Okay, Go ahead and punt the football away. A&M ends up with the ball probably somewhere around their own 40-yard line, which is good field position, but Boy, beats the hell out of this 8-yard line where they're setting up now after the interception.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know if they've already made the decision to go to Marcel Reed at this point, but when you give it to him at the 8-yard line, it's a lot easier to change quarterbacks. Let's go in there with something different. They were probably swapping up at that time, but I would have rather put a lot more pressure on Marcel Reed's first snap into the game and make him drive 70 yards, 65 yards to score.
Let's talk about Reed, because the comments from Greg Penn after the game got a lot of attention, that they didn't really work on that all that much. Brian Kelly even said, hey, should we have worked on more? Well, yeah, I guess so. Working on the backup quarterback, garden variety, if a guy hasn't played very much, how much time would you typically spend talking about that in a week of practice if the guy hadn't played much?
It depends on their skill set. If he's very similar to the starter, that they're trying to figure that out, you don't practice him at all, because they're going to run the same offense whether he comes in or not, starting on that quarterback. Typically, when you have a runner as a backup quarterback as an option, you're going to spend 80% on the main offense, 85%, and then you're going to go 15 minutes over. If they come to this, these are the plays we need to look at. You're going to pick up 5 or 6 plays and just show what's possible if this guy gets in the game. They
had worked a lot of this stuff for the Arkansas game. Taylon Green is an athletic quarterback, but Reed runs, there's some different stuff.
I mean, he runs, he's a guy that's run the zone read his whole life. I mean, this is what he does. He's great at it. I mean, for a true freshman, and we got this play and another play coming up, that he runs it as good as anybody. And it's something that I think, I don't want to say lazy, because I think that this defense put a lot of effort in. I think Blake Baker put a lot of effort in. This is the best defensive game plan I've seen by LSU for a half. And once they got to this, it was like they were going to rely on everything that they worked on with Arkansas. And look, it's there. When we go back to the next couple plays, there's guys there that can make the play. They're not just completely blown out the water, like they don't know where they're at, but they don't fit it correctly. And that's where you talk about spending an extra 15 plays, 20 plays in practice. Make sure you get the correct fits.
When you talk about Reed, we're not talking about a garden variety backup quarterback. First of all, because he is so different, but This guy's played a lot. He started 3 games, 2 of them in SEC play, and they won all those games. They won every game that he's played in. So Wegman hasn't exactly been rock solid the whole way. He's had his ups and downs. So we were citing in the post game when LSU played Tennessee in 2001 in the SEC championship game, and Rohan Davey, who had a phenomenal year, got hurt in that game. Matt Malk came in. Well, Malk would be, the national championship quarterback later in his career, but that year he hadn't played hardly at all. Tennessee had no idea what to do with him. No. And his running, he ran for 2 touchdowns and 50 yards in that game, and it was a big reason why LSU won that night in Atlanta and made it to the Sugar Bowl. This was, to me, was a lot different. All right, before we look at this play, I'm going to tell you about Bayou Apparel, helping local businesses communicate their message since 2009. As one of only a few local LSU licensees, Bayou Apparel offers the highest quality products to showcase your brand, an established one or a new one. Bayou Apparel design experts can help you create eye-catching designs that fit your company's message. They do logos, event T-shirts, and promotional items for your business. Call 225-928-9090 or go to the website at bayouapparel.com. So this is the first play after the interception, 1st and goal from the 8, and Reed is going to score on this play.
Yeah, and you just watch. I mean, our guys flow.
Let's take a look, and then we'll talk about it. He does have good speed.
He moves good. He carries that in the pocket for so long. I think he just does a really good job. And you can watch Weeks and Penn. They fly. They're coming crashing down. They weren't ready for it at this point. But when you get to the wider view and we go back and watch, you got Sage Ryan and Burns that could have fitted a little bit better. They kind of get sucked into trying to fight with their guys instead of just forcing a cutback and forcing a cutback seam that allow these guys to flow in. Weeks and Penn come crashing. Right there is where I'm talking about, and you'll see it better from the wide view. Gilbert's there to make the play. That's his guy. But what Burns has to do when this guy comes across, Burns has to hit him right there, go upfield. Sage has to hit him up on the upside field, go upfield, and allow those guys, make Reed cut back and allow those flowers to come get him. But what they do is, that's where I want to say that the technique they weren't, keened in on, because if you watch Sage, he tries to bend back inside, which all that does is create that wider gap to the outside.
Let's watch Ryan number 3 here on this play.
Sage has to hit that guy right there in the hole and make him come back. but he kind of tries to fight it inside, try to beat the guy around. Burns does the same thing. He tries to come inside, and it just makes him seal off the edge to where there's no help.
I want to show something else here. Well, Savion Jones here is on the inside edge, inside shoulder of this tight end. He goes down to take the running back. Okay, well, that's what A&M did to LSU, except handed the ball to the running back. Okay, so watch what Jones is faced with here. He's gonna come down. He's gonna make
what our zone read looks like, except we keep the ball right there.
Yeah. I understand that Nussmeier can't run like Reed can. Yeah. I get it, but this is what it's supposed to look like. You're supposed to have that end crash down.
That's why you run the play.
Yeah.
And the next play is another form of that, to where it's a big play. I think that they had communication on the sideline, because you get Penn and Weeks read it a lot better. They don't bite on the play fake, but what they do is they get all in the wrong gap. You end up two guys in the same gap. It creates a big seam, and he makes a 20-yard play.
All right, this is a big run from the LSU 33-yard line for Reed.
They do a great job reading the pullers. They both stay on the play side, but they just get discombobulated. They don't get in the right gaps. You get both of them on the same side. They overflow, and I think this shows a really good view of it. But they read these pullers really well. They read it quick, but both of them end up on that far gap, and it just creates too much of a space.
All right.
At this point, I'll tell you when to pause it. Right there. At that point, Weeks is supposed to, that's his gap. Penn overflows. So Penn should be on this inside gap with Gilbert coming to fly down.
They're almost allowing this guy to block two people.
That's what essentially happens. He blocks two. Then they try to fight back. They realize they're in the wrong gap, and then it just creates a bigger seam.
So what's Gilbert, if he sees this, what's he thinking at this point?
He's looking
Where's he
for the
got to
leaker.
get?
He's looking for the gap. He's looking for the leaker. Once you got this guy here, you got Penn filling this gap, you're looking for that seam. Just stick your head in.
All right, so he does get – let's give Gilbert a little bit of credit. He gets here, okay? And now –
they swap again.
Yeah.
So Penn stays wide outside. Weeks tries to fit back inside, and it creates another gap that it's not designed.
He is not easy to tackle.
And that's things like we talk about. I really believe they relied on their Arkansas tape, and now they're just they read it correctly, but they just misfit it.
Let's run back one more time.
Hit pause right there. Penn just overflows. Weeks is in the right spot right there.
Yeah, he's got his left arm out, so he's got outside technique here. Just where Penn's supposed to be right here, right?
Penn's supposed to be right here. You got Swinson setting the edge. You got Weeks setting the edge right here on this tackle. But Penn's overflow, and then it's just really strange to me because he overflows, then gets kicked out by the tackle. Weeks tries to fit back in, and it just creates a seam.
And he's got right through that seam, 20 yards. Was this what you saw on a lot of the other plays?
It's the same thing.
There were 6 or 7 of these that we could have showed you. We picked these two.
Yeah, we start to read it correctly. It's just we had misfits. It's like we saw what the line was doing. We saw the pullers. We saw where the action was going, but we couldn't just fit the run correctly. It just, guys were panicking and trying to react instead of, go off what they've been, taught.
We're brought to you by Dana Brown, the law offices of O.C. Brown. We've known Dana for a long time. He's taken over for his father, O.C., for the last 30 years. They've carried on that legacy. So whether you've been in a car accident, you've got other legal issues that you need to take care of, the law offices of O.C. Brown should be your first and only call. Truly your law firm for a lifetime, and the initial consultation is always free. Call them at 343-1111. Or on the web, it's OC Brown, OSSIEBrown.com. And right down the street from the offices of OC Brown is Town Square Pizza. Square Pizza, delicious, made from scratch right in front of you. But if you're working downtown and you need to get lunch in a timely manner, they're going to get you in and out in a timely manner. You're going to get a generous portion. Trust me, we're always bringing back leftovers from Town Square Pizza, the newest creation downtown Baton Rouge. This final play that we're going to show you is a completion by Nussmeier to Aaron Anderson that carried down inside the 10-yard line inside the 5-yard line of Texas A&M.
And this is one that's not his best throw. It's one of those we talked about last week. If you go back and watch the films we've showed where Lacey's beating a guy on a cover 2, where he's going to bend it across the middle. And, where Nuss has struggled, he's throwing him up the field instead of throwing him across the field. Well, it's like he overcorrected on this one. This is the route where he should be throwing it up the field. He throws it across the field. Anderson bails him out, makes a hell of a play. But we talked about 3 interceptions. This could have easily been number 4.
All right, let's watch it here.
So, look, you got cover 1. You got to run up the seam. He throws it back on the inside. That's one that you got to kind of pull your receiver outside.
Can I go back and look at this? They got a guy trying to get off the field that down at the bottom of your screen here.
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't get off the field. Then he turns around and he
tries to grab.
Yeah.
I did not catch that at first.
That wasn't very good.
No, but this is one
they had 11 or did they have, hang on, I got to go back and check.
Okay,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, they had 11. Okay.
But this is one where you got cover 1. He's up the middle. You got to throw this outside the hashes. You got to bail him out, make him go over here and catch the ball. I think Anderson does a great job by getting in front of this guy's face and protecting it, because he looks like he wanted to go to Hilton, but that's a dangerous throw when you're throwing back into the safety.
All right. He gets good protection on this play.
When it goes wide, I want to see what happened to Hilton, because it looks like he wanted to go to Hilton first. Well, Hilton gets a little held right there that slows him up, doesn't get the free release. And that's what pulled him off of Hilton. Hilton's trying to bend it. He gets his arm caught up. He comes back to Anderson. But that's one where you throw him up the hash on that one. You don't bend it back across the middle.
Okay, this is the last.
This is the interception.
This is the interception. Okay.
He panics, and I don't really know if this is designed. You're going to watch a blitzer coming out, or the guy coming off the edge. He doesn't feel like he can get home, and he just kind of leaks back and right in front of the guy. I mean, I'm not sure they're calling that. To me, it looks like he's coming, he brings it, he's going to leak back and just leak straight into the check down.
This essentially ended LSU's chances. They were in a bind before that, but this really ends their chances. So, Rich, I want to go back and look one more time at one of the plays we had earlier, and this was the 20-yard run for
Marcel
Reed. One of the things we've been asked a lot: why, when Reed was in the game, did LSU not bring more people into the box? So this looks to me like a pretty light box. You got 3 receivers in the formation. Would you have advocated it after they had seen Reed for a couple of plays against a formation like this, getting more people down closer?
I think they're still trying to show it. I mean, Gilbert is 9 yards from the ball. He's kind of inserting himself into that box a little bit more, so you're playing with 7. Ryan's going to come over the top. Yeah, I mean, knowing what I know now that he only threw 2 passes in the game, put everybody in the box. But it's hard to tell when you don't know. I mean, the guy had 6 passing touchdowns coming into the game. He was a guy that was had thrown the ball better than Wegman at points this season. So I think they're just trying at base at that point. If this run is fit to where everybody should be, it could have been a stop.
Okay, let's say if they had slid Ryan down, this play is going to the other side. Yeah. So
the big problem right here is
if you had it to do over again, you would have brought more people down.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably slid. If I'm going to put Sage out and maybe bring Burns in, or maybe rotate Burns and Gilbert, because Burns has been tackling really well lately. He's been fitting in the box. But, I mean, we can say all these different things. The fit between Penn and Weeks gets messed up on this. I mean, that's where the play is a bust, because the Penn overflows, gets in the wrong gap, which Witt tries to correct and get back inside, and it leaves too much space.
Disappointing for LSU here. If you're looking at big picture, this does not erase any goals of playoff or potentially even SEC championship game, but your margin for error is gone, and the tiebreaker system is so extensive as far as getting it to Atlanta. There's too many teams left in it to really kind of dissect that now. What you know is you win on the road. The big wins on the road in the Southeastern Conference have been elusive. Georgia won at Texas, but the top teams have pretty much defended home field, which is good news if you're LSU, because 3 of your last 4 are at home. They're pretty hard to beat in their own building. The Ole Miss almost got them, but didn't. We had to call it a post-game, Rich. It said, they played 4 games that were kind of toss-up games: USC, South Carolina, Ole Miss, and this one. They're 2-2. That's probably fair.
Yeah.
They could have won the USC game. They could have won this game, but they didn't. They could have lost to South Carolina. They could have lost against Ole Miss.
Where'd you pick them before the season? I figured it was a 3-4 loss year.
I cheated. I picked them at 9.5 wins. Okay. But the optimist in me wanted to say they get to 10-2, and they're favored to get to 10-2. They'll be favored in these last 4 games, but
Look,
nothing's easy.
I'm a fan as much as the next person, probably a bigger fan than anybody. Like, I care more about LSU football, so I have the bad habit of when things get rolling good, we get winning. My expectations keep growing. When I go back and watch this film, it's a lot of the same issues that we've had in other bad moments part of the season. Look, this defense is getting better. They're playing a lot stronger. It's not super talented. We don't have uber athletes everywhere on this field, but it shows you when we're not playing at 100% accuracy and we're not executing at 100%, big plays can happen.
This one stings. They've got another week, an extra week to get over it before Alabama comes in. Really?
Losing before a bye.
Well.
You think about this a lot longer.
Oh, well, okay. I get why it's bad for the players, but does it help you once you get back out there? I mean, you got 2 weeks worth of frustration.
One of 2 ways.
Yeah, you got 2 weeks worth of frustration to.
It goes one of 2 ways. I mean, like, this is a long week for them because you don't have. There's nothing to get that taste out of your mouth. You're not getting ready necessarily to go play this weekend and erase all these feelings. It lingers a little bit longer when you got the bye week.
Okay, we appreciate everybody being with us for this Monday. LSU and Texas A&M. This has been the Handycast.